What is up, YouTube? My name is Elon Muscular, and in this series, we're going to be doing a deep dive into the bodybuilding legends and looking at their training, diet, and performance enhancing throughout their careers. Now, I'm heavily inspired by the man up on the screen behind me, MENTZER. He was one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time and one of the most cerebral men to ever be a part of the sport.
Your body composition is still changing for the better. I can see literally every fiber in your back when you do that exercise.
Everyone?
Well, maybe a few obscure ones.
He was a thinking man's bodybuilder who used logic and reasoning.
I don't care how special your mommy thinks you are.
He implemented the high-intensity training style.
Look at his face. Look how pumped up. Push your face up. Very good.
With the help of his kind of mentor and partner at the time, named...
There was one man in the right place and at the right time. He created an exercise formula and turned it into a $300 million empire. These are just a few of the better bodies built by Nautilus. For Derek, Victoria Principal, and this 21-year-old beauty who's married to the king of firm flesh, a man who started with a plastic card with no credit left and wound up on Fortune's 400 wealthy American list, 60-year-old Arthur Jones.
And if they had bothered to check my account, I had about 42 cents in it.
So the best way to understand high-intensity training is to see it in action. Luckily, we have some clips from Dorian Yates as well as MENTZER training several athletes in the high-intensity style. What you can see up right now on the screen is a super intense form of training that tries to bring the muscle to failure as quickly as possible. That's the goal. It's not to pump the muscle full of blood and just enjoy the workout for an hour to 2 hours. This is supposed to be in and out of the gym 30 to 45 minutes, creating incredible damage within the muscle and then taking a lot of time to recover. Mike thought that this was the most logical form of training because it provided the most direct stimulation in order to build muscle and strength. In terms of diet, Mike had an interesting approach. He thought that in order to build a lot of lean muscle, an individual only had to be within an extremely slight calorie surplus. In this quote from his book, you can see that he thought that the optimal surplus was 16 calories extra consumed per day, and that could equate into 10 pounds of muscle gain. He worked this out with the math and science of the time. I'm not sure how accurate this is with the information that we have today, but Mike, as you can see, didn't believe in eating in a huge surplus, and he tried to keep the calories down, which is pretty normal considering the bodybuilders at the time. They didn't really go through huge bulking and cutting phases like the bodybuilders today. They were more interested in keeping their shape and size year-round and slowly adding lean tissue.
I was reading in a new muscle magazine, and they got another term, beyond ripped.
Beyond ripped.
Shredded.
Shredded. And it's diced, minced, and
In terms of performance enhancement, a lot of people have had a lot to say about what Mike was doing at the time. Some people that knew him well and some people that maybe did not know him so well. I'm sure that Mike went through phases where he used a ton of anabolics and then phases where he used no anabolics or very little anabolics. And you can see that his physique kind of fluctuates over time. But he seems to have a pretty consistent growth up to a certain point. And then after he lost the 1980 Olympia, you could see him slowly fall off and he became kind of disillusioned with the sport. A lot of people thought he should have won and he was really pissed with the politics at the time. So he kind of took a back seat off training and had a lot of other issues come up in his life and then kind of fluctuated between being in shape and out of shape for the rest of his life. So in terms of popular dosages, we have two references that kind of talk about what he was taking at the time. Here's a clip from his training partner, Larry Pollock, in an interview he did with Muscular Development. And he talks about the cycle and the style of training that they used when they trained together in California.
I'll even tell you right now, the cycle we did was 300 milligrams of Durabolin every other day. That was it.
That's Deca Durabolin?
Nandrolone phenylpropionate, the fast-acting Deca.
NPP, okay.
NPP,
Yep. You guys were just doing Deca on its own?
NPP, 300 milligrams every other day. That was it. That's all we took.
Wow.
And Mike, I swear, every time we went to the gym, he got bigger. Probably a little crazy what we did. This was our protocol. We would take an Obitrol, which is a amphetamine with like several amphetamines in it. I guess it's sort of like
The sustanon of amphetamines.
I think it's like an Adderall.
Okay.
And then we would go down to the Nautilus, and there was an espresso shop there, and we'd take a double shot of espresso, 2 5-milligram dextrine spanchules, which were these fast-acting amphetamines. And by the time we walked in that gym, we were so wired, we couldn't even barely sit still. And we literally went in there and trained like crazy people.
Wow.
And we would do like, a couple warm-up sets, and then the all-out set to failure with negatives and forced reps and the whole thing. Used a lot of Nautilus equipment, and we really did train like that.
If you liked the video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know who you'd like me to cover in future episodes. Thanks.